And good. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time to join another webinar today under the umbrella of Impact Market Romania. I'm Corina. I'm the founder of this wonderful organization. And today we celebrate the B Corp month through this webinar, having three wonderful founders and slash managers working for B Corp companies or future B Corp companies. And also trying to learn from them how this process was for them, how they managed to do it, and to hear actually from the persons themselves that worked with me in the past. And today I want to invite you to meet these wonderful ladies one by one. But first, let me tell you that according to latest B Corp studies, approximately 54% of women, of founders in Europe or leaders of B Corp are women. And when I saw this, I was impressed and I was thinking, oh my God, 54%, it's really a big percentage. What makes women so drawn into the B Corp values? You know, what makes them want to do it? Because as we know, to become a B Corp, the process, it's quite rigorous. So I could say it's not everybody's cup of tea in a way, but I think that the fact that so many female entrepreneurs want to certify their companies as a B Corp means something, and for sure the B Corp values are important for them. So I was looking further into this research, and it was said that women feel very attracted to words like diversity, equity, inclusion, fair wages, fairness, and so on. And I think these are all values that describe all of the women today, because I think that it's part of our DNA, it's part of our work ethic, it's part also of how we see business from our perspective. And I think that all of us want to do a good business, want to create businesses that last, that create value for future, but also for the present, for the people that we work with, be it colleagues, be it employees, or being partners of business. So let's start into talking to our guest. The first speaker today invited, it's Melania.
Hello,
Berja.
everybody.
She is the founder and the manager of Keops. She fights plastic pollution in merchandise for events. And my God, if I think of events I was going to or I was invited, there is a lot of plastic, there's a lot of merch that gets to be thrown away after. It's a lot of things that sometimes are given at an event and then maybe you don't need them anymore, so you decide to get rid of them. So Melania decided to start her business with ecological certified products for events. Some of the products that I actually had a chance to look into are not only ecological certified, but also B Corp certified. And together with Melania, we have made the B Impact Assessment, which was our big challenge at the beginning of this year, and we've submitted, and now it is in the verification phase. So Melania, again, thank you for coming today. Tell us a little bit about why do you fight plastic in merchandise for events, and maybe more importantly, why did you decide to go for the B Corp certification for your company?
Thank you, Corina. first, I would like to tell again that we are a promotional product supplier for big companies and small companies also. And our journey really started, as I imagine a lot of the companies in the pandemic, like 5 years ago, maybe. We have been doing this for honestly 20 years, but we started our sustainability journey like 5 years ago because we really started to think that we need to change the way we do business. Both because of the economic situation, because of all the marketing events that use promotional products stopped for a while. And we thought maybe we can start to deliver our products also to individuals. And also because I remember I heard at some point some news about the regeneration of the ocean during the pandemic, during the first 2 weeks when new species of fish were discovered and everything was more alive. So maybe I thought, okay, what can I do to do a better a better action in my company. And so I started little by little with small steps in our company. We actually started to use less plastic, to to of course collect selectively paper, and everything else. We changed our tape from the usual tape with the paper tape that is also certified from the foreign from the FCC, which is the certification for the wood. And then we started to gather information of how can we deliver also products that are made of less plastic to our clients. And we started really to curate our products, and we really put on the market a new brand, which is called Natural, and is a registered mark at this point. And we also started a new online e-shop only with promotional with eco-friendly products. The shop is called cadoureco.ro, and there you can find a lot of products, certified eco-friendly products. At first, 5 years ago, we really didn't find much products that were certified, and we only started with products that were made of natural materials, of really of materials that had a less impact on the environment. And then little by little, we started to look for suppliers that could gather a lot of information of what really a sustainable business means. And we went to this it's called the Transformator, which is a program where I had the chance to meet Corina and to hear about a lot of sustainability practices, among which B Corp certification. Honestly, I knew about B Corp certification and started to apply like 2 years ago, but I was really stuck because I didn't have the tools and I didn't understand what was what were exactly the steps, and all the information was really very new to me and I didn't know how to answer. So at that point, I met Corina during this training, and I contacted her afterwards, and we started to work together. on the assessment. She really helped me a lot, and it was like a couple of months work from both of us. And for me, what mostly meant was that I had a diagnosis of my company and of what I really honestly do to be a sustainable company. Luckily, I discovered that that I did a lot of things that were supposed to be done, and I think those things that I did were like genuinely coming from a place where I wanted just to conduct a better business, to deliver information, a better information to my client, to deliver better products to my client, to help and collaborate with companies that have the same ideas. And little by little, all gathered up, and I think we had a really nice percentage. We had like from 200 points, we have 122, and I hope it doesn't go a lot more below below
Yeah,
that. Yes, and the experience was tremendous for me, as I said, because all the places, all the puzzle pieces were put together, and I could see a big picture of my company and of what I was doing. And honestly, at the end of the assessment, I thought that even if something happens and I don't get the certification, it is such an important thing to learn and to understand what you can do better, in what department you need to do better things, and what other new things can come to your company.
yeah.
So yes.
Exactly this. You know, Melania, I keep some words that you said. The first, it's a diagnosis of your company, which is true, because as you mentioned, you do a lot of work and you do a lot of good things. You do a lot of contribution to community projects, as I could see. You do a lot of donations. And you also work, as I also could see from your activity, you work with small suppliers, family owned. So you definitely select the people you work with and your suppliers of products carefully. So it is correct that this exercise, let's say like this B Impact assessment, was really opening the eyes on what you know you do, but also on what those things you do, like you're used to do, but you never count them as very impactful or sustainable, because this is your way you operate. But once we looked at this way, it made very clear that you do naturally some sustainable things, which are part of your way of business without thinking, yes, I should do this, I should do it sustainably. So it was just part of you, of your work.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit more about the way you select your suppliers? I mentioned you, and I was impressed. You work with a lot of local suppliers from Romania who are maybe family owned, or maybe they are not so known worldwide. And how do you go to them, and how do you work with them? Could you tell me more about this selection?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So honestly, for the products that we sell, we generally collaborate with foreign suppliers, just because they have these certifications for the products that for the moment we don't find them in Romania. But there are a lot of other we have a lot of other projects that we need support from other type of suppliers. So in this situation, we use really small companies from Romania, for example, or family-owned companies, or I don't know, maybe there's a family of 60 years old that still want to work and have the energy, and I prefer to work with them and not go to another big company. I think it's really important, and I honestly love how Italians, for example, have their really small shops, or they have companies, or Spain companies have Spanish-owned, family-owned companies for generations. And you can say about a company that it is established from 1928. I would really, really love to see that we can have this in Romania. So it's just about us contributing and helping each other in the industry. And this is how I choose to work with really small companies, or underserved, as I understand they are called.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yes, so for me it's really important, and it's really really comforting, and it's also I really love the flexibility that small companies have. They are not really so rigid, so you can benefit, although the price might be higher mm, for some services, but you have other certain benefits, maybe a flexibility, maybe on a short delivery time they can do the extra hours to help you, or maybe I don't know, there are other parts of the collaboration that I understand is really really precious for me. And I prefer it to working maybe smaller budget with bigger companies in Romania.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your customers. Do you sell mainly in country, or do you also sell outside? And
Yeah,
how
so yes, our clients, for some years now, as I told you, we started our online e-shop, and we also have companies, but also individuals that buy from us. Of course, individuals only from Romania. For the moment, we only distribute to Romania, and really, I'm really proud, or so to say impressed, that our that the return of the products is like less than 1%, so to say, from all that we sell. So I'm really happy about that. That means the persons that buy them are really, they really like them. And the companies that we work with are also small companies, but mostly are big companies. And for them, sometimes we need to deliver out of Romania the products also. But it's not that often this happens to deliver out of Romania. And yes, we provide promotional products for their teams, for their partners, for their marketing events, for their launching of a product. So yes, we choose the products and the process. We try to take really good care when we deliver and what we deliver, so that we can create a collaboration on a long term. So, for example, maybe this is also sustainable to think of a client like on a long term collaboration, rather than have a lot of clients for just one order and another order and another order. So for me, it's also important to make a long-term collaboration
yeah,
with my clients.
yeah. We worked together on the B Impact assessment for a couple of months. It was a process not so easy.
Yeah.
It involved a lot of time also from you, and you are the founder and also the manager of the company. So a lot of time was dedicated from your side. I want to know from you now, looking back, to this perspective, how was this process for you? Did you find it hard as a first time viewing it and going through all these 200 plus questions together?
Yeah.
Was it difficult, or was it something that you looked for? Was it
Honestly,
needed?
I need to again say that if it wasn't for you, I couldn't have done it. It's that simple. So, yes, for me, it was difficult to understand a lot of the questions. And from this point of view, Anna, thank you again that you made it so simple and so to the point and so easy to answer. And you made it easy. But for me, honestly, it wasn't. It was quite complicated. I really needed help for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know because actually when we met and we started, we went on something that you already started 1 year or 2 years before.
Yeah.
So I could see some of your questions were there in the database. You answered them, but at some point probably availability disappeared, or maybe I don't know, understanding disappeared. So
I
we,
really didn't understand. Yeah, I really didn't
yeah,
understand, and you
yeah,
helped me. And the information that we have now were not even available, I think, maybe, or for me, they were not available a few years ago. It was very high. For example, I didn't know about scope one and scope two, what it means,
yeah.
and now you made it really clear and really simple to understand.
Yeah, yeah. The scope 1 and 2, we are referring to the emissions. Um, okay. And looking back now to this process, because we had to put a lot of data, and maybe this is also something to keep in mind from this webinar. When we do the BIA, we are required to demonstrate everything that we say we have, all we do. We are required to demonstrate through a comment or maybe even through a document. And we created some of these documents together, and it's brought a lot of bringing all the data to one table, be it from all 5 different areas of analysis. So we had governance, we had workers data, we had community data, we had customers data, we had environment data. So you had the chance to see all this data together on the same plate, let's say. Where do you think you had more points from your perspective? Where do you think you scored well and you were happy about the result? And maybe where do you think you were surprised to find out that it was not done too much into this direction? For example, you already mentioned the emissions were not maybe something you looked before, maybe you didn't have a chance. But mm, perhaps let's focus on the positive side then. Where do you think that you scored best and you were happy about the result of your analysis?
Honestly, on the workers area, the impact, I didn't think it was could be bigger, and I'm trying to improve. And I want my employees to be better and better every day. And it was a good uh, point, a good score that we had, and I didn't expect that, and I was really happy about that. And I was really a little bit impacted on the customer score. I was expecting it to be a little bit higher, but I don't know exactly. I of course I have something appointed, and I will do it better, but I didn't really understand why it was lower than I expected, because I was like, ah, my clients, it's like it's
Mhm.
like the most important. But yeah, my score in that area, I don't know why it was a little bit lower than I imagined. Yeah.
Okay, because we all think our clients, we deliver 100% to them, and it should be the highest score. It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
How about the workers section? You said that this was a surprise for you. Why it was a surprise? You do a lot of things with your organization, with your workers. What is what you do that you discovered through this impact evaluation?
Uh, f- uh, I first of all, maybe I didn't knew at that time that that having a person with disabilities working might contribute to a more sustainable company. This was really a really impactful thing for me because I didn't know that. And yes, this is, I think, the most impactful moment for me because it was for me something normal. I mean, like it's a normal person. It's part of us as
Yeah,
it's not something special, but apparently it is considered that they it's more sustainable if we have persons with disabilities as employees.
yeah, yeah. It brings a little bit of impact to your organization if some of your employees have disabilities and they are contributing. It's not that you hired her for purpose, but it happened to be counted
Sustainable.
in
So,
yeah, sustainable.
yeah,
But you
yeah.
also do other things, and I was hoping you will refer to that. You do mentoring with her, and you
Yes.
do coaching with her on the job. So could you tell some few words about this too?
Yes, from my point of view, yes, this was really impactful because from my point of view, this is how we need to be between each other. Like, it doesn't matter if I am your manager and you are, I don't know, not the same position as I am, but it's like a normal, simple communication. And if she needs help, I will for sure help her. And in this sense, precisely what we do is that, for example, she's a student and she's now this year going to finish the university, and she needed help to make her how do you say license, not license, her work to present
Yeah,
that.
her
Yeah,
final
her
work,
final
let's say.
work. She needed to present her final work, and she needed like really precise data from the company. So of course we helped her. We delivered all the information that she needed. We collaborated with our financial department, and she also helped her. So it was like a contribution. I'm always telling her that whatever she wants to do in the future, I'm like more open to do. And she's actually she's planning on trying to do some activities on her own, and I'm really supportive of that. So for me, yes, it was also impactful because this is like a normal collaboration in a company, and apparently it is also sustainable. So I'm more than
Yes.
happy to
Yeah, yeah,
to
and very useful, I think, in the future for any employee that you have.
yeah.
Just pointing the fact that this is the way how you are at work, and this is the way how we discovered through your story and to your words that actually this is the way how you act as a mentor, as a supporter, as a coach sometimes, you know, on the job. And that's very worthwhile, I think, for every entrepreneur. The way this is the way how you can grow your employees and how you can you know, contribute to the entire impact of your company, not just working with them, but also supporting them.
Yes.
I think you can agree this is the way for the future,
Yes,
right?
I'm totally positive, and I think that only good things can come out of this. Even if the person stays with you for a longer period of time or not, as I think it's better to leave very good traces behind you, because from her maybe comes another person, and it's better to make good environment in general with the people around you, so to
Yeah.
say. So yeah.
As a final, let's say, as a closing remark from your side, if you would have now somebody asking you, "Hey, Melania, should I do the B Impact assessment? I'm scared. It's so much work." What advice would you give to that person?
Definitely just start it. Just start it. I started and I stopped for 2 years, and then I I came again, and I finally did it. And so yes, just start at this point. Doesn't matter if you start answering just two questions and then stop. It's better to start than just stick with the fear of not being able to finish it. There is no problem if you don't finish it. You can start over and over and over whenever the time is right, because
Yeah,
not always the time is right when we set it. Sometimes we need more. I needed
yeah.
2 more years to meet Corina and to understand. So yeah, I'm
It
uh, I'm
was
the, I'm the best example that you need to start, because at some point you will finish. Yeah. No.
it's absolutely correct. Maybe sometimes all stars align and then you finish what you have started some time ago. But it's important to look at it as an exercise, as you mentioned very early today. Even if you don't get it as a certification, that's an exercise useful to have
Of
for your
course,
company.
and it's a lot of information that we get from there. And if I, for example, if I didn't start B Corp, B Corp was one of my, so to say, touching points of information. I started B Corp, but then I went to this sustainability training transformator where we
Mhm.
met. And
Yeah,
little by little, every step we take, doesn't matter if we don't finish it, but every touch we do, every step we take, it's for our better understanding of our company and for more information for ourselves.
yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Melania.
Thank you.
Wonderful to have you. Please stay with us if you can.
I will stay a
Uh,
little longer. If anybody
yeah,
has any question for me, I'm happy to try to answer. So
of course, of course. If you want to shoot questions to Melania, do it. If you don't want to do it now, you can put it in the chat, and then we can look at it and answer afterwards. Thank you again.
thank you, Corina.
Um,
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you very much. I would like to also be mindful of the time and invite the second speaker we have with us today, Mara. Mara is the owner of a confident agency and communication, branding, everything, how to say, inclusive services of communication from Romania. Thank you very much for joining, Mara, us today. Um, I think you're muted, but I don't hear you.
Now
Think
you
you
can hear me?
Yes, now we can hear
Yay!
you. Thank you for taking time from your very busy days. Thank you for taking the time to join today our webinar. I'm very happy you're here. You are the owner of this wonderful agency called Confident Agency, and by the name, I think that it says everything. Bold, confident, trustful, everything. We have started, and when we met, actually, we started discussing about the B Impact Assessment because you were interested also into starting the process for B Corp certification. And I know that when we met, we didn't know a lot about what is BIA and how we should do it and what does it mean and how much time and how much resources. But I guess that during this exercise, we became very good friends, sort of saying. We've looked into the depths of confident agency and we realized that you do at this company much more than just you say communication and all these integrated services. You do much more. You do a lot of work for community. You do a lot of work for underserved customers. So Mara, please start telling us a little bit about what you do and why did you decide to look into the B Corp process?
Yeah, first of all, hello everybody. And Corina, thank you for having me here. Yes, I started Confident Communications 14 years ago. And I knew for many years about the B Corp, let's say about 10 years. But when I first went on their website, I went there, I saw it, I closed it. I was like, no, my God, that's impossible. But actually, it was a phenomenon that I kept looking around because at the time we had a lot of relationships to UK and many PR agencies are B Corp in UK. But then when I least expected this in my life, I found Corina at an event, and she asked something and said that she's representing B Corp. And the next day I just called her and she made it happen. And just like Melania, God bless Corina that she saved us from all this process. Why I love B Corp, and because most of the companies that become B Corp are entrepreneurial. Most of them, not all of them. I think there are about 10,000 companies that are B Corp already worldwide. Maybe I'm wrong, but that could be that should be the number. And for us, what I love about the B Corp, it's because that they see sustainability in a round way. So it's not only about the environment, but it's also about how you treat clients, how you treat your employees, how you treat the community, and also something which I find very important, the governance, which means the vision and the mission of the owner. Because sometimes as an owner, you find out that maybe your mission or your vision is not what it should be for a long-term business. So it's not, and it's also because sometimes in Romania, when you speak about sustainability, everybody speaks about, I don't know, throwing less plastic, doing this, but what about your clients? What about the people you are working with? So this is what attracted me very much at B Corp. On the one hand, about our company, but also on the other hand, that we work a lot for sustainable and CSR projects for our clients. So I needed to better understand this phenomenon. And yeah, working for a big corp, it's a process in itself. It takes some time, but I need to say that for an entrepreneur, this is really a transformational process. When you are face to face with the serious part of the business and how you actually should be doing business, all the regulations that you need to have, all the numbers and the figures that you need to be aware of, it's really transformational. We needed, and it was on the one hand nice that we find out that for certain areas, let's say like people or maybe communities and clients, we have certain practices which took some good marks in this evaluation. But on the other hand, we lacked a lot of other procedures. And actually, this process forced us to actually create those procedures and to find out more and to go dig into what actually means to have a company and to have a small company, but actually that is going through the process of a corporation. So yeah, actually you learn a lot as a business owner. And it also forces you to take time to do all these processes for your company, because most of the business owners are very much into doing stuff, day-to-day stuff. And this process puts you in that place where you need to actually have a company manage the company, not just to be in the operational area. Yeah, so well, in a nutshell, this was the B Corp for me so far.
Would you tell us a little bit about your projects? You said that you work with a lot of CSR projects, and in general, you work also with NGOs and maybe less favored organizations, let's say, in this respect. So could you give us some examples of the projects that you do that you're proud of, for example?
Yeah, we do it. Well, what we usually do to help community and let's say not underserved, but maybe people or businesses or communities that might need a hand of help. Yeah, on the one hand, we work with one NGO, but we've done this for a few years now. And we like to partner with them because they are like an umbrella that serves that usually serve various other NGOs. Let's say they have education, they have orphan children, they have poor children, they have people with certain disabilities or people that have that are in high need of some health interventions. They are also very much involved in calamities and whatever happened in Galat or in Turkey with the earthquake. They are very, and also in Ukraine when the war started and there were a lot of refugees. They are really very fast in assisting social needs. And this is what I like about them. And we usually support them. We give them money. We give them products. If we have clients that might have products and their community need it, because they do have this bigger umbrella. We didn't know what to do, so we chose them to, I don't know, help us in doing good. This is on the one hand, and on the other hand, what we sometimes do, and what we actually do, but with few companies. If you are a startup, but not like a super rich tech startup, but a startup which is more which has less resources and know-how, we help them build their communication strategy, and we help them understand how communication can leverage their sales efforts and how to build a brand, how to build an image that will further help them attract better employees, attract clients, keep the employees, and all the benefits that a good communication and a good brand image leads to, apart from the fact that mothers are very happy to see online and give love to what you do. But yeah, anyway, so we help them more with professional services because otherwise they couldn't afford it. Because now, well, PR agents and PR and communication are not usually cheap and super affordable. Yeah. So this is the doing good. But on the other hand, we also this is what we do for our agency and for our business. On the other hand, we are very much involved into pursuing our clients to involve resources like money, their employees into CSR projects wherever those are needed, and the company has capabilities to support.
I know because we discussed it during the completion of the BIA that it's very important for you to work with those clients, and it's good that you mentioned that fit your, let's say, code of values. And we created together this ethical marketing policy that I think you also loved it because you created it very fast and very rich. And I would like to ask you to tell a little bit about this policy. What is ethical marketing so important for communications in general?
Yeah, so well, ethical marketing, it's in our opinion and in our policy actually had two pillars. What we do for the marketing of confident and what we do for the marketing of our clients. So yeah, it's very important for whom you are doing PR and communication. I mean, if that client or their cause it's crashing your values or are not aligned with your values, then you will not take that client, even maybe sometimes there are a lot of money there, because the unethical ones usually have like lots of money, good money, but well, not for us. Then it's important, so it's how you choose your partners and clients, then it's what you do for them, what exactly services, what kind of campaigns you do, and then the third, how you actually do these campaigns. And I'm gonna give you some examples of, for instance, what is ethical marketing for confident, what we are looking at, but very pragmatic examples. For instance, whenever we report our campaigns to the client, we never use inflated figures. We actually go for for very pragmatic figures that have that were taken out from our efforts, which is very important. Then, for instance, when we sell our services and impact to our clients, we never exaggerate anything and we never overpromise to the client. Then, for instance, another thing of ethical marketing, for instance, we get a lot of clients through our connections, other agencies in the regions or agencies in Romania that recommend us, and sometimes we work together with them on the same client. And for instance, whenever we promote ourselves and the agency through that client, we always mention directly our partners that were involved and directed the client through us when we work together with the agency. So we never say it's our client. No, it was the client that was delivered or that came to us through these partners that entrusted us. So I think these are like very few examples of ethical marketing. Moving on the client side, and how we assess ethical marketing for clients. For instance, we never use and we never help our clients deliver on the market fake news or source news. So if a client asks us to do such thing, we decline the project and we close the contract. Then, for instance, we do a lot of product reviews for the consumer clients that we have, and we use influencers, we show social media key opinion leaders, and we never brief those people to do or to, I don't know, to pursue them or to guide them towards doing any false reviews about the products. Then, for instance, another piece of ethical marketing, if you have a crisis with a client, we always recommend the client as a strategy to assume the crisis, to recognize that there is a crisis. There are other ways also with no comment. There are ways of, I don't know, not speaking about this thing or just not approaching the thing in the media. And then anyway, sometimes it just goes out like this. Also, what we do is we do not support and we do not do impact washing tactics. What is this? For instance, let's say you have a client and they are doing a CSR project which usually has like a very big impact, and but the core business of the client actually harms certain community or does something bad to the society. But okay, the client and the agency say, okay, let's use this good thing that you have done and to go over the media, the social media, communicate to the partners and make a big thing of this big project that you have done. So that to diminish, on the other hand, the bad that they are doing in their core business. So we never do impact washing in any way. So we are just pragmatic. That was your impact and it's here. It's not over the whole business. Also, there is another thing, and this is something which is very sensitive, and it's sometimes a way of it's not something in your face. But for instance, let's say you have a client, they have a lot of money, and they say, okay, let's help the underserved, and we never promote our client as the savior of that community, but rather like a humble supporter of that community. So we do not take the dignity of the people that we help because we have the power, because the client has the power, has the money, or has the resources. So we are not like, okay, these guys were poor and thanks to us, they are not poor. And look, we were the one that saved the poor people. If it wasn't for us, those people wouldn't exist. So this is the nuance between what we do. So it's rather we promote the client as a supporter or a helper, but in a humble way, not in this, because sometimes the client are like, oh, okay, we help the poor. Okay, let's do a big thing. Look, the poor are not poor right now because of us or somebody that was in a health issue and they got involved. So this is something which is quite sensitive, but we are quite persuasive into promoting with our rules. So we like everybody to have their dignity as a human, no matter if they are helped or if they give help. Yeah, so this is a little bit of ethical marketing. It's a whole subject, but just a few examples.
Is there clients or is there industries that you would never work with that you think would not fit to your values?
Yeah, usually very high polluters, like polluters that, for instance, come to Romania to pollute because the margins are lower than in other communities. Mainly also, for instance, businesses that do a direct and harm to communities. For instance, we had just an example many years ago. We had an opportunity to work for a wood processor, and they were having their facility somewhere near Sibiu. But I met the marketing lady, and they were usually in some scandals regarding the high pollution that are affecting the villages that around the facility. On the other hand, the people in the villages had no other place to work but within their facilities. So it was like a poor community, and well, but the marketing lady, she was established in Brasov. And I was like, but why aren't you living in CB, or why aren't you living very close to the facility if you're saying that the pollution is not something actually bad? And she was, no, because she was actually driving like 2 hours back, 2 hours to go and 2 hours to come back from work. And why do this if you believe that your company is not such a polluter, and actually those people don't get cancer from what you are doing? So yeah, we wouldn't take this company, and it was like another big opportunity for us. Many years ago, we brought in Romania a very well-known speaker, international speaker. We were at the very beginning of Confident, poor enough to not be able to pay some thousands of euros for the speaker. We didn't get a lot of sponsorships anyway, and we were like in a huge trouble with this. It was like a brand mine situation, like it was like a very big event, and we were approached by a very very big client by that time, and the discussion was quite direct, and they were like, okay, how much money do you actually need? I mean, what does this event cost? So we are going to provide everything, and we do not necessarily want to be the I mean, you can take other sponsorship as well, but we want to be on the project. And it was like it was like a lot of money on our hands. But then I don't know, it was something from the heart that would say, no, I mean, it's good money, but you're going to go to hell for this money. So we didn't take the money, and piece by piece, and with all the tickets that we managed to sell at the end, we managed to get this event through, and it was a success. Everybody, all the marketing directors were happy to come. It was like over 1,000 people, marketing directors that attend. So, but yeah, we wouldn't do something which would cost us the rest of our career for a sum of money that you get now.
Do you think that the values of the founder are also or can become part of the values of the company? And how you, in your case now, having these values, instruct your employees and people you work with, or maybe collaborators, to follow? What do you do to make them follow and to go as you want according to these values?
Yeah, the values are usually like a DNA. I mean, sometimes you cannot change it directly. So yeah, usually when there is a small company or a medium company, whether you want to recognize it or not, your values and your energy is the energy of the company, unless it becomes a corporation and this energy dilutes somehow. And also, when these values are quite strong, you get to attract, and not just to attract, but to keep the people that usually share the same values. So it's not like you are enforcing those values on them, but those people come because they also have the same values. So if somebody doesn't share the values, then they might not actually stay with the company very much, or with the firm very much. Yeah, so usually how you show the values, it's by doing it. I mean, people, it's not what you put on the walls or what you put on the website, but it's what you, your company, and the people working for that company see you doing every day. I mean, if they see that you say, guys, we are not going to work for the kind of client that is doing this and that, but then when the contract is before you, you sign it. This is the value. The values are what you practice, not what you preach. So this is how this is the best way to teach or to speak about the values with your team, just practicing it.
We did together the BIA, and you remember how difficult was to gather all the data. But once we had it on one plate or one table, then it was easier to see where we were very good and where maybe there is still some place for improvement. Looking back now, I have two small questions for you. How was the process for you as an individual? What if you think it was good or bad or easy or hard? And the second is, where do you think you scored well and you were happy about the result? And where do you think there is still some work maybe to be done in the future?
Yeah, well, the process was, if it wasn't for you, it would have been a nightmare. So you are the one that actually through. But yeah, where I think that we scored where we scored okay was maybe with clients and with our team. And where I believe that we didn't score very, very well was with our engagement to the environment. Because we didn't actually have any big practice or big thing to do in this area. But then we tried actually to do some policies, and we looked around the office to see what we can improve. It made us quite aware, because we are like, well, we are a small office. What can we do? How can we harm the society? But well, actually, there are ways in which we are doing this, and we are trying to be more aware. What else was? Sorry, it was like a long question.
Yeah. But so the process was for you easy? Did you find it easy or did you find it difficult? Did you learn something maybe from it?
Yes, we learned a lot. It was transformational for us. It was actually transformational. It's not easy, because when you go through all your business, to all your business pillars, and you find out that maybe you actually have some practices, you do some little things of day to day, but actually there is not a policy, and in the company people don't know that you are actually doing it, so you don't have anything structured. Basically, you are going from very small things that you believe that you do right, from intuition, into actually doing it at a higher level, like having a policy. And when you write the policy, actually you see that there are a lot of other things that need to be interconnected in order to give the little thing that you believe that are doing good another level of impact. So yeah, basically it's like starting from a small entrepreneur trying to survive, and this big corp experience leads you to a strong company and an actual company, not just something that is done by intuition, but by processes and by understanding your impact at a very different level. So it kind of got us more mature, so to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy that you said that in the customers area you had the highest score, because well, I was expecting that from a company with your profile, but indeed also these new policies that we created help us to have a better understanding, for example, on the customer stewardship or on this ethical marketing policy. So selecting customers with care, it's very important in your business. Well, if you would have now in front of you someone that would come to you and say, Mara, we want also to start BIA, but we heard it's very difficult, 200 plus questions. What should we do? So what advice would you do? What recommendation would you do to this person to start? How to structure maybe some words of wisdom now based on your experience?
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it, entrepreneurs of small companies are usually super busy. And my first advice would be like, work with Corina. I mean, take somebody who is specialized, don't waste time, don't try to be cheap. Just work with somebody that has the resources, has the know-how to actually make you materialize this thing. Because otherwise, if you are leaving it to yourself and to what you can do, you're never going to do that. Every time it's something more important. So working with a specialized company and consultant makes it really very, very simple and structured, and you do it right from the first time, so you don't get to become disappointed through the process and just leave with everything. Yeah, so that would be the first advice. Then would be to be disciplined. I mean, it takes discipline, because the way that you structured the process for us was step by step, each week a chapter. So it gives time to create all the policies, to investigate. You also give us a lot of resources, a lot of models of how to do this and that. So it was much easier for us to understand what is expected to put in that policy. So it needs to be disciplined. They need to be disciplined. I mean, if they are committed, because complicated it's not with you, because you give your clients the right amount of work, which is actually doable in the working hours, if you have like a very busy schedule. So yeah. And also maybe another thing, maybe to have somebody from the team that is interested in this topic to help you with certain policies. So maybe don't go by yourself. I was together with my colleague Diana Lupi. She's our head of sustainability, and she was always by my side in the process, always like, okay, what is going to be done by you, what is going to be done by me. Also, for instance, she was always there in acknowledging what we actually do for the client, or do we have any practice here, do we actually do at least one activity there. So it was very important like this, that sometimes maybe you are not even aware that you are doing certain activities sustainable in any way. So if you have somebody senior from your company to assist, it's actually very important. So I believe that from the company, a team of 2 or 3 people, it's more than enough. But to have a project leader, but then and also take a very good consultant, because it pays all. I mean, it helps with all the process. So don't waste time.
Yeah. And because you mentioned about Diana, I know that you are starting something new within your company this year, connected to sustainability. Can you tell us a few words about it?
Yeah, well, we are going to actually start a sustainability division, and that actually we already started to work on it, and Diana is leading this practice. It's also new to us. This is why we also wanted to go through the B Corp process to better understand all the perks of this sustainability in all the business processes. And yeah, we are actually very, very happy about this new division. We are working on it. Since we are entrepreneurs, sometimes it takes more time to implement something, because it's learning by doing. So we are not like a corporation where things come ready done for us. So we are also testing what's working, what not, what are our capabilities, what are the capabilities and resources we need to attract. Yeah, so but anyway, we already have some projects. We already had some under this umbrella, and we are soon going to make it official and to announce it. Also, we didn't want to announce it before we actually had some work done on this chapter, because it's easy to go in the media and say we've done this and that, but then if you do not have the projects and if you don't have the figures, then it's complicated to have only the form and no substance.
Yes, I understand, but that's it's something that I salute, and I can only say bravo for thinking of sustainability integrated in your business. I see that a lot of founders want to do this now. I salute every effort as a sustainability consultant, because I know it's not easy to integrate and also to offer, as I said, an integrated service also in this area, which some people leave entirely outside because of various reasons. Thank you very much, Mara. I think it was a wonderful time talking to you. if anyone has questions for you, I think you would like to answer. If not now, maybe if people want to leave some questions in the chat, and we will answer afterwards.
Sure.
Thank you again for your time and for everything that you told us about Confident Agency.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity and for all your help. God bless you.
It was a teamwork, you know, a very big teamwork, and I would say all the effort and all the recognition must go to you and Diana for this, actually.
Thank you.
And let's go on. If you still have some time to stay with me today, I have our third speaker. I'm happy to invite Alexandra Ilie. Alexandra is working for sustainability in a big company, which is AdoreMe. If you ever heard about AdoreMe company, this is a company, if I'm correct, Alexandra, based in France. Yeah,
We're based in the US, in New
in
York.
the US. Okay, which is certified and recertified. Okay, as a B Corp. Alexandra, thank you very much for joining and speaking with us. I don't know from where you're speaking, from France right now. Is this, I got it?
Yes, I'm based in France because we also have a small office in Paris, and we have a not so small office in Bucharest as well. So
Wonderful, wonderful. So Alexandra, AdoreMe, it's a big company. It makes a lot of beautiful things. I will let you tell about what it's doing, and tell us a little bit about how you guided, because I understood you guided somehow the process of certification, and I'm sure the recertification also. How was for you to go through this process with this type of company, and why was that decision to become B Corp in the first place?
I think first, I had prepared a couple of slides to present AdoreMe. I think it's better to understand
Yes,
the full context and what we do.
yes, let's
Or
do it.
yeah, it's not gonna take too long. It's really just a few slides. But just to introduce AdoreMe, we're a lingerie company, and we're based in the US, as I said, in New York. But the company was founded by some Romanian and some French people in the US. And so that's why we also have an office in Paris and one in Bucharest. So we're really an international team. Our tech center is Bucharest, so all of our engineers and data scientists are there. Designers are in New York, and in Paris we have a small focus on sustainability, which is where I'm based. And a little bit about the identity of AdoreMe. We are an inclusive company. By inclusive, I mean we offer a wide range of sizes for every type of body. We currently have 67 sizes across our main categories that we offer in terms of lingerie, bras and panties, swimwear, loungewear, and so on. We're affordable. We really believe that we needed to be inclusive with every type of woman, regardless of her financial means. We want them to feel comfortable in our product and be able to buy our products. We're also digitally native. Since the beginning, we were born on the internet and stayed on the internet. Even though we opened up around 5 retail stores in the US, most of our activity is digital, and we are the first lingerie company in the US to be B Corp certified. We got this certification in 2022, and we recently recertified last year in October. And we are also now part of Victoria's Secret. So we're part of a larger company and brand portfolio of Victoria's Secret since 2022. And sustainability has always been embedded in our DNA. We changed our incorporation status from for-profit company to public benefit company. and which means that one of our stakeholders is now the environment, so we are liable for anything that we do to harm it. Of course, we have the B Corp certification. We tried to embed sustainability in our whole company and have a holistic and systemic approach where all teams had an integrated sustainability feature, and we tried to avoid silos. So instead of having a central sustainability team, we rather wanted a decentralized approach where every team has a sustainability function and knowledge in their team and can be able to use it in order to avoid silos. And also what we like to say at AdoreMe is that we are trying to disrupt the fashion industry through innovation, through showing that we can make sustainability affordable and not charge a green premium by partnering with new companies from the fashion space and creating new solutions for sustainability in fashion. And our journey in sustainability started around 6 years ago. At the beginning, we were focused on building internal tools that would help us assess the sustainability of our manufacturers, for example, or the sustainability of our designs. We had a tool called Game that was specific to manufacturers, and then a tool called AIM, our Eco Design Matrix, which is used by designers at AdoreMe to be able to make more informed choices and to keep sustainability in mind when creating a garment. Also in 2021, when we launched this tool, is when we became a PBC. Becoming a PBC, a public benefit company, is one of the requirements of B Corp, actually, when becoming a B Corp. But we did it way before actually certifying as a B Corp, which is a great engagement that we made, and it served us for the application as well. Then in 2022, we became B Corp certified for the first time. We also launched our first customer-facing program around sustainability, but I'm gonna talk a bit more about the customer-facing aspect when approaching B Corp, the B Corp subject. And then 2023 was probably my favorite year when we launched the Sustainability Accelerator of AdoreMe. And then 2024 is when we launched our first digital product passports, some other projects in collaboration with external partners, and the B Corp recertification. And now going to your question, Corina, about the B Corp certification and how we navigated it, why we chose to have it, to apply for it. I think our main motivation for applying to become a B Corp was to get more recognition on all the efforts that we've done throughout these 6 years of working in sustainability. Because AdoreMe's philosophy was that we didn't really want to make sustainability a marketing tool. So we were never really transparent or really communicative to our clients about our sustainability efforts. It was more something that we were doing in-house and a little bonus for our clients. But getting the B Corp certification, the main motivation was to get a sort of recognition in front of our stakeholders and for all of the efforts that we've done so far. Without actually using sustainability or the certification as a marketing tool, and trying to stay away from all of this greenwashing trap. And I think the second motivation for us to become a B Corp was to be part of a community of companies that are like-minded and finding new players in the fashion space that we could collaborate with and advance our sustainability solutions. I'm a true believer in community and collaboration within the fashion industry, because if you think about it, when you think of the environmental impact that the fashion industry has, it is very concentrated in the scope 3 part, so in the value chain. and in supply chain countries in the production phase. And because of the nature of the fashion industry and how processes are no longer integrated and we're outsourcing manufacturing in other countries in Asia, in the Middle East, or in Eastern Europe, we have no direct control over the environmental impact that our production has. And I think, if you look closely at the way the system functions, you will quickly realize that there are not so many manufacturers and that many brands share a lot of manufacturers with each other. And if we were to get together and form a coalition or find common solutions, we would be able to have a much bigger impact if we were to act alone. So the B Corp certification was a great way of first finding recognition and then also getting the visibility necessary from other players in the industry to to find new solutions and to collaborate.
Is it, is it difficult in your industry because you're in a big industry, big billion-dollar industry, widely known and with a lot of customers? Is it difficult, you believe, to keep this sustainability as a bar raised? And how do you think it was possible for AdoreMe to keep this beacon lighted up?
Yeah, I think it's quite difficult right now, taking into consideration the wider global geopolitical context. It's especially difficult right now. But I think for AdoreMe, it was a combination of really smart people, a lot of tech resources, and this philosophy of not charging a green premium that actually really helped us advance in our sustainability journey. And I can give you an example. There are a lot of processes that can be optimized in textile manufacturing using technology, using machine learning, AI to predict, for example, the demand for a specific product. But if companies don't use this kind of technologies or don't find this way of making their processes more efficient, they would have to rely, for example, on air shipping rather than sea shipping when ordering clothes, because you want to jump into a trend, you place an order and you want it really fast, or you find out that you are running low on stock for your best-selling product and you need it right now, so you have to order it and you will resort to air shipping for getting it fast. But if you are able to predict smartly how many products you would need in a certain amount of space using tech, AI, machine learning, you will be able to save not only carbon emissions from switching to sea shipping, but also, additional costs of having a speedy production in place. So I think for AdoreMe, it was a magic recipe of putting the right resources and the right people together to find smart solutions, and also not trying to place the financial burden on the consumer, to trust the consumer that the consumer will make the right choice, and instead just offering the consumer better products.
If you can tell us a little bit about the certification process, can you remember how long it took and how many people worked for it?
Yes.
Under your lead?
So we started our certification, B Corp certification process in 2022. And it was just me working with the COO on the application. We didn't have a team handling the whole process. And it took quite a long time because it was a complex process of that answering the more than 300 questions, collecting data, analyzing it, putting it together, attaching it to our application. So it was not an easy process. I think it took maybe like a couple of months, I think 6 months to collect the data necessary, bearing in mind we're quite a big company, so there were many pieces to put together for this application. And then after submitting our application, it took also quite a long time from the B Lab part to review our application, assign us an analyst, and then do the back and forth with our analyst on reviewing our questions. I think what helped us have a speedier approach in our process was the fact that we had talked to other companies who had undergone the application before, and we knew that B Lab was going to request additional documents to prove answers to specific questions. And our approach was to always have documents prepared that would prove our questions and attach them proactively to the application before even being asked by the analyst to do so. So I think that's a tip that I could give to other companies that are seeking the application to speed up the process. And the recertification process, it took the same amount of time, I'd say. There were some changes in the recertification process because, as you might know, because the B Corp movement grew so much, B Lab had started to externalize the consultants that were reviewing the applications, and we had a consultant that was not really as familiar with the standards as our first analyst was. So it was a bit of a more of a back and forth there, and also the standards evolved. So it was not an identical application as we had in the first run.
Yeah, it's true. And the standards also evolve starting with this year, or maybe application will be the next year, 2026. You made me curious in your presentation, so I have to ask you, what is digital product passport and what is written in this passport?
The digital product passport is a European requirement for products that have sustainability claims. It's a comprehensive document where you have information on multiple touch points like the environmental impact of the product, the composition of the product, the location of the components, where the components came from, where they were assembled, where they traveled to, packaging, transportation, care, and use. It is not applicable to the US just yet. But we proactively prepared digital product passports for our products in order to anticipate this law coming to the US as well. Basically, the digital product passport creates a unique identifier for the product that contains this information and is essential for the traceability of the product. I think to maybe have an analogy and to be more concrete. For example, in the US, there is a law called UFLPA that bans products coming from the Xinjiang region in China. And so having insights and transparency into the traceability of the components helps both brands and institutions stay aligned on these topics. So, yeah.
And where can you see this product passport on the label of the product or where? I'm curious.
Yeah, companies have different approaches. Yeah, you can have a QR code on the label of the product, and then if you scan it, you will find the digital product passport. For us, it's on the product page under the section sustainability feature. Right now, it is available for a selection of our products, so not all of them. But yeah, we're soon integrating this feature for all of our products.
Mm-hmm. You also mentioned sustainability accelerator. Is it something local or it is globally developed?
It's a good question because I'm leading the sustainability accelerator. It's an initiative we started a couple of years ago. Basically, what we're offering to companies is being their first ideal client. We're taking companies from really ground up who have just started and they don't have a client and they want to test their solution. And we, of course, focus on companies that activate in the climate tech space. So finding sustainability solutions for the fashion industry. We have a cohort of 6 companies that we accompanied to create their solution, build their platform, and find more customers. One of the most successful companies that we worked with is Carbon Fact. Carbon Fact is an LCA and carbon accounting solution that is specifically focused on the fashion industry. And with Carbon Fact, we built together their platform. We tested it, we gave them knowledge on the fashion industry, and now from us being their first client, they now have over 100 customers and big names like Columbia, North Face, On Running. So this is really, we're super proud of it. And speaking of the digital product passport, for the digital product passport, we did the same thing. We worked with a company called CommonShare, which is where our passports are based right now on their page. And with CommonShare, we did the same thing. We built their platform. We gave feedback under the solution. We really built it together, and now we're implementing it together. It's not something localized in a specific area. It happens that Carbon Fact is a Parisian company, so we have easy access with them. But CommonShare is based in Barcelona. Our most recent entry in the Sustainability Accelerator is a company called Thermotune. It's based in Singapore, and they are offering a software system and a sort of thermostat that is applied on steam boilers in manufacturing plants and tier 2 manufacturing plants with the factories that make the fabric in order to regulate steam production and find ways to diminish consumption of fuel and have a more efficient fuel consumption.
Mm-hmm.
So we are taking in companies from all around the world as long as they fit in this criteria and as long as we can advance their solution. Because, for example, with Thermotune, we are introducing them to our own suppliers and encouraging them to adopt the solution.
And because you mentioned about your suppliers, do you have any criteria to select your suppliers? I can imagine because you're a B Corp that you're interested in their sustainability as well and traceability. How often is so if you have this criteria, how often or how difficult is to use this criteria in the industry today? Where do you find these suppliers?
Yes, we do have criteria to select suppliers. It is one of our first in-house developed tools called Game. It's a tool that helps us evaluate and select suppliers based on criteria related to social rights or the environment. Right now, the world is really uncertain, as I said, with the current geopolitical context. I think a lot of fashion brands are forced to diversify their suppliers and go away from certain controversial areas in the world. So it's not really stable right now, but selecting our suppliers is a very important aspect for us. And I can make an analogy with an area where we scored really well in the B Corp application. It was the community area because we had a specific program of selecting women-owned factories in Latin America that were employing the local women communities who were disadvantaged and encouraging them to get into this textile manufacturing industry, paying them well, a living wage and so on. So this was a really important aspect that was really well graded by B-Lab when they evaluated our application. But of course, we don't have we have specific requirements for each type of supplier depending on the type of product that they produce, the country they're located in, the COGS as well, of course. But yeah, we always keep in mind the social and environmental aspects.
And of course, the ownership of these companies. And because you just briefly mentioned the environment, I'm just curious how difficult was to go through the environment section of the BIA, being such a big company.
Yeah, it was quite difficult because I feel like it's hard to score, to have a good score in the impact business model part, in the environmental section specifically. If you don't have like a super innovative solution. But we did get rewarded in that part thanks to our eco design matrix, for which we patented this tool. So it really proved that it is an innovation in the field. But it took a lot of documentation work and a lot of back and forth with our analysts to finally approve this. This is typically one of the hardest areas of the B Corp application to score good in, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Alexandra, if you would have someone in front of you saying, well, I would like to look into the B Corp certification, but I'm scared, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of resource, what would be an advice you would give, and maybe some words of wisdom based on what you experience now with the whole process?
Yeah, well, I would say that it's definitely not a piece of cake. It's not that easy. It is, of course, a complex process. But if you're well organized and have documented your journey in sustainability and are able to prove what you did, I think it's quite easy to navigate it despite the complexities of the process. I would also, in all honesty, I would also advise other people to take this process and this label or certification with a grain of salt, because as it happens to all processes, there have been many contestations of the B Corp label. Whether it is a certification or not, what does it mean to be a certification? Why certain companies that are notorious for their negative impact have this certification, whereas in the general conception they're not that great for the environment. I'm thinking of Nespresso here, but you have to be informed about that. And I think, like, because of these controversies, the B Corp standards are evolving, they're becoming more rigorous and more rigid, so to say. So it's an evolving process, it's a learning process, but overall for us, the B Corp certification had positive impacts. I know whenever I talk to an external company, they always point that out, and it's something that it's sort of like our business card now. I think it also helped us in building a collective of companies and a community of companies that are doing great work together, like in the Sustainability Accelerator that I'm leading. And it was worth it for us. So I would encourage anybody who is actually interested in pursuing this certification to do it, to know it's complex, to be ready for that. But if they have the right reasons for doing it, then go ahead.
And maybe one last question from your experience now. You know that customers maybe are the last to find out about the new certification or to recognize it. Do you have your logo, your B Corp logo on your product? And how do customers react to this when they buy the lingerie from AdoreMe?
We have the B Corp logo on the website, and in our retail stores, we do have the logo displayed. but we do not display it aggressively on our products because, as I was telling you at the beginning, we didn't really want to communicate extensively on sustainability. It is simply not a feature that our clients are looking for. And the way we like to think of it is an added bonus. We're encouraging them to consume more responsibly without, pushing it to them in the form of marketing campaigns. It is just, we're just making our production better and producing better products, but we don't really want to be so loud about it. I think that the customers that know what B Corp means see it in a positive light, but I also think that in the US and for our specific type of client, the knowledge on B Corp is quite limited.
Yeah, but I personally hope that the knowledge on B Corp will grow in the next years. Thank you very much, Alexandra, for taking the time. I know you are very busy to come today and to speak and to tell us things that we didn't know about AdoreMe. I am surprised. I'm positively surprised to see how many wonderful things a company can do. You're very lucky to work there. I'm sure that more things will come also through your work with this sustainability accelerator, as you mentioned.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation.
It was a pleasure, and I'm looking at the time, and maybe I'd like to wrap it up. If there are no questions left, and I see no questions, there was just somebody saying that it was a very interesting discussion, and I'm happy to create interesting discussions for people who aspire to become B Corps. So today it was a webinar where we wanted to celebrate March as a B Corp month, but also as a Women's Month, let's say. And because of the majority, I can say now at the end, the majority of the founders of B Corps are women, more than 54%. And I think that the values of women are definitely in tune with the values of B Corp. So I want to thank you all for taking the time today to come. I hope that this left in you some food for thoughts. I hope that we also learn from each other what a communication agency can do for a community and what eco product store can do for companies and what a lingerie company can do for the world, for customers and for the environment. And I hope that this will lead us to more success together, but I also hope that this will prove that B Corp is not just nice to have or a trend. It's something that creates real benefits. So maybe last words from you as saying goodbye. If you want, feel free to say it. Thank you very much for your participation and for your words of wisdom. And I'm sorry for my voice. It's going to disappear right now. So thank you again and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Corina. Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Alexandra.
Thank you, ladies.
Nice to
Keep in
meet you.
touch.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.